Hello YouTube, this is going to be kind of an update video. What's going on? Today was the last day of school, so now I have break. That's kind of awesome. Figured I'd make a video at this time. Obviously I haven't been making too much except the 10x10 unboxing since the end of the daily videos. I've just been mainly out of ideas, mainly just really busy with school, so kind of have some free time now. I'm sure all of you are I'm sure a lot of you guys are really wondering what the hell is going on with the 13 by 13. I know, I'm sure there's a lot of people keep getting constantly reminded. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are just like, what are you doing? Where's the 13 by 13? You said it's gonna happen. What's going on? And yeah, something terrible happened. So I'll kind of explain what happened. Now, after the daily videos was ended, I decided to spend that time working on the 13 by 13. The time that I normally spend on daily videos, I decided I'm going to still put that to good use. I'm still going to keep working on 13 by 13. Going to keep productive, and eventually I found myself with half of an assembled 13 by 13. So I had 13 by 13 square face, which is a bit of a beast, I'll say that. And it's just amazing. But anyways, off topic. Kind of on topic. Anyway, the puzzle had an interesting thing happening once I assembled about half of it. Yeah, exactly half of it. It taking, first of all, a ridiculous amount of time to get here. I slaved over those molds for hours and hours and hours. Oh my god, just tons and tons of working on that. Anyways, a bit sick. So I was building that, and I noticed pieces were locking together, but I didn't take much thought of that. I just didn't really, think it was going to be a big deal. I knew it was going to be a big deal, but I just almost pretended like it wasn't a big deal. I didn't want to deal with that. So when I assembled half the cube, obviously, I tried to turn it, and these pieces were locking together. So, it was a bit of disappointment, even though I kind of saw it coming. And I, to be honest, just left the cube for like at least like 3 or 4 days in that state, just half assembled, sort of meh. I just really didn't want to disassemble it, but I found a way to take out the pieces, which are just wing edges, and then I know that sounds really simple, taking out a set of wing edges, but on a cube like that, it's actually kind of difficult to get those out without having a lot of pieces fall into the cube and then they fall all the way in because there's gaps. It's a mess. It is a mess. So I found that a mass-produced 2 by 2 by 3 just kind of fits in that wing edge slot pretty nicely. So I just kind of used that to fill in the gap. Anyways, sanded up the pieces. That was quite a long time now that I think about it, because I had to glue all the pieces together to make sure they were fully aligned, because there's a lot of lining there. So that was quite a bit. It was a good 5 hours, I think, to sand it, and I really got my hopes up. Like, oh my god, there's not going to be pieces anymore. I can really do this. This is going to be the defining moment. So I busted out the video camera, actually filmed this, but for some reason the footage won't want to go onto my computer. I'm not sure. So I begin the turn, and sure enough, nothing's catching. It's kind of little turn, little. I'm like, oh, okay, very slow, going from all angles. Quite a process. And quick side note: before I began the turning process, I did the cube was extremely stable, and it was slightly an account that was kind of tight, which is sort of what you want when you're assembling a cube like this. But it was very stable, extremely stable. Like, you would shake it, no jiggling, or tiny, nothing compared to how much jiggling you'd expect for 13 layers, or a 13 by 13. How many pieces that is? So there was very little jiggling. So that was kind of a good sign, at least, that the cube wasn't inherently unstable while just sitting there. And I even picked up the half it was assembled, and moved it around to look into the inside, check it out, take some pictures and stuff, with no tape. So it was just held together by friction. It was moving around, and that would be, I think, roughly 400 pieces if that fall apart. But it didn't, so that's good. But anyways, I began the turn. Okay, so back to the turn here. So I began the turn, and suddenly the cube became really unstable. Like it went from a dream, very stable, very nice, to just a mess. Like it just started not falling apart, but becoming jiggly, very jiggly and loose, like it had springs. Which is obvious. So I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, no. Why? And I only got about an eighth of the turn, and I realized, oh my god, this thing, like, I'm kind of patting it, and it's tap, 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 and it's like, you know, you hear the cube. It's like the noise you hear when you rattle a very loose cube, like a very loose big cube. It's kind of that sound when I tap the sides, you know, ugh. And one of the, you know, these pieces, I wanted to see, like, because it was moving around like this, and I was like, what the hell? So I just kind of started pulling out. Now, normally, this thing is locked in, like, there is no way that's getting out. But now, it suddenly just, oh, come out. I'm like, whoa, my god, what? What the hell? So, the puzzle no longer was holding this piece in place. I could pull it out and then blast off out, like, half the cube, which I didn't really want to do, but it was no longer in there. And it took me a little while, and first of all, I was completely devastated by what had just happened. I was very, very upset that, well, not very, you know what I'm saying, I was really disappointed that the cube that I had spent 100 hours on, kind of a give or take so far, just failed half. Didn't work at all. So, yeah, I was just like, oh my god. So I've been thinking for quite some time, actually. More time than I should have really been thinking about that. Which was kind of the main period that you guys have been without videos and stuff. I've just been really depressed, or not depressed, but, you know, just really bummed out by what happened. That was supposed to be a really defining moment of 13 by 13 build, and it just blew up in my face. I was like, oh my god, like, because at that point, the cube had appeared very stable, very, very stable. It looks like it was like, so close, so close. If it had just worked, maybe just the top layer, but not all the layers, and then I could have sanded more, and then I'd made progress, and I'd have, you know, half an assembled 13 by 13, and then all those layers would work, and then I'd go on to the next, you know what I'm saying, and then, yeah, it didn't. So anyways, I spent a long time thinking about what had happened, as in the actual puzzle, what was going on. Not like, oh, but anyway, yeah. And I've come to a conclusion of what had happened. Something I had suspected might be a problem from the start. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't believe it. I guess I just didn't want to believe it because that was a unthinkable amount of work. Here's how the pieces fit together. Very nice. Oops. Okay, very good. Unfortunately, my hypothesis is when the cube is being turned, these layers kind of just unhook and pop, and then jiggle, and then they don't go back into place, and then they just kind of, oh no, or something like this. And yeah, you get what I'm saying, or you don't get what I'm saying, but that's okay. Anyways, bad stuff's happening. So I was kind of resisting this. I sort of just didn't want to believe that's actually what I'd have to come to fix this problem, because it's truly a really annoying task. And that is, whoops, sorry, this video is kind of slow. 10 minutes, yeah. It's kind of a long update, sorry about that. Just bear with me here. I'm just letting it all out, there's a gap here, which unfortunately needs to be filled. So the pieces would hook. So even if it kind of goes like this, there would be hooks that go all the way to here. So it'd be like a true, deal going on, basically. And that involves extending as many pieces, exactly as many pieces, except minus the core. But besides that, as many pieces as 7x7 minus 6, just need to be extended internally. So everybody has a 7x7, you bust out a 7x7. Imagine all of those pieces extended in the inside. Now the fun little thing about extending in the inside is, first of all, you don't get to see it when it's fully assembled. So hours upon hours of work goes into something you don't even look at, which I don't really care that much, but it would be nice. And kind of like, ooh, do I want to make a shape mod that would look really cool, or do I want to extend the inside of a 13x13, which no one would notice? But anyways, so here's some of the pieces that have not been sanded, but have been extended. There we go. No, okay. Yeah, there. So that's kind of what they look like with the extended. They haven't been sanded, obviously. And I've found that this task is going to be quite something. Sick all this week, but I've been kind of going through it, and yeah. Well, first of all, just quick side note on the whole being allergic to epoxy sculpt thing. I used gloves, so I never actually touched the epoxy sculpt, but then the next day when I started sanding, I got really itchy again, so just gonna have to bear with it. Go in short bursts, I suppose. But anyways, it's definitely not so bad. But I found that this task, trying to sand these pieces out, I'll see if I get a pair here that's been sanded. First of all, here is a box. See that? All these pieces. Those all need to have intricate sanding done to them. So that's just half. Don't worry, that's not all of them. That's just half of all the pieces that need to get sanded. So yeah. Here's the example here. Here's one of these pieces. Slightly sanded. Corners get beefed up. That took forever. Get that going. But anyways, can't find them. Anyways, you get the idea. Sorry, again, really slow-paced video, but bear with me here. I'll stop before 15 minutes for sure, but the cube, yeah, pieces like this, and they'll just take forever. And the problem is, you gotta do them right. You can't just slap together these kind of pieces. They're the inside of the cube. There is no margin for error. If they're not round, if they're just kind of round, they're just sort of eyeballed round, it's not gonna work. It's not even gonna begin to work. These need to be perfect. And perfect is okay, but perfect takes a very long time. Now, I could cast, but that's risky, as these pieces are very, very precise. Pieces like this, I combo. I do casting, the unprecise, and then epoxy sculpting, the precise. And some pieces can be made very precise just by it's hard to explain. Different kinds of precise, but this one wouldn't want to cast it, just in case the pieces aren't round. You know, it would just be a miss. So, and plus, oh my god, casting corners. The whole puzzle would be just a block of epoxy skull. I mean, epoxy casting. A block of casting resin, which I personally think is almost as much work. Not even close to as much work, but I really just want to do these by hand. I don't know why, I got this feeling that you just got to do these by hand. Which again, I don't know. That's so much work. That's just an unbelievable amount of work, and I don't even know if I have the ability to just sit down and do that, you know? And plus I have to cast all the pieces for the second half. I just have one half. All those pieces I just showed you are just for one half. It took me like 3 hours just to epoxy sculpt all those pieces. And sanding it takes so much longer in this case. So, where am I at with this? When will this 13 by 13 be done? Honestly, it could prove too much. Yeah, it's just, I don't mind devoting a lot of time to puzzle modding, but that's kind of a beast. And I will slowly pick away at it, but yeah, I honestly don't know how long it's going to be. I think any dreams of getting it done this year is just unrealistic. Maybe not even for the next competition in Vancouver. I don't even know. Like, it's just, again, I haven't really been cubing that much, and I don't know, it's not that I've lost my passion for it. No. It's just kind of, I don't know, I haven't been really working on puzzle mods that much. I do take breaks, but unfortunately, normally I take a break after I've finished a huge project, which, this is such a huge project, it's kind of like 2 huge projects. But anyways, I'm dragging on here, it's like 17 minutes, 30 seconds, holy crap. But anyways, 13 by 13 will not be finished in the foreseeable future. Thank you for watching.